Hey everybody, this is LSID932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. We're getting into it this first week. I wish they didn't drop 6, but we are here for it. I am working hard, so I ask you to put in the effort. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know you're watching. Give me a comment below because y'all really have opinions about these folks and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So let's get to episode 6. Woo! This is the last episode for this week, y'all. We're going to get into it. The song they started off with is Make a Move or Crash and Burn. And y'all, we at Mason and Meg. Because you know what? Mason is trying to save himself with Meg. Because remember, Madison in the previous episode broke up with him. And then Madison ran to the ladies' lounge to tell Meg, yeah, I broke up with him. He may try to stay with you. But I told him you ain't having it. So Meg's thing is, how do I know? Meg ended the episode 5 with, how do I know that you chose me and you didn't just have me because you were done with Madison? Madison dumped you. I mean, that's a legitimate question. How do you know? Because the producers, the way they put it, they could have had him meet with Meg first and then meet with Madison. But no, they put it in a way where Mason is like, he can't make heads or tails of it. But he did tell Madison that he was committed to her. Y'all, Mason created a mess. We ended the episode with look at the mess you made. We started this one, make a move or crash and burn. And we're about to see. So he says, you've always been my number one. She's like, yeah, but I wasn't yesterday when you committed to Madison. He said, no, but when he walked out of committing to Madison, he knew it was wrong. He has feelings for 2 different people. Meg said, that's not wrong. It's fine. But, to say I was your number one when clearly you were telling me where you were at by committing to another person. He says he's not sure he felt, that at the time. Wasn't sure he felt really the commitment with Madison. She says after her dates with him, she was always giddy. She would go back to the ladies' lounge and she was happy to have had the date with him. But then when she sits by herself and she thinks about it, he wasn't giving her anything. Ooh, Meg, you came with your receipts. He said anyone would be lucky to have her. And he is just despondent, y'all. He says, sorry. He said commitment to Madison. He's not sure why he said it. But she said she'll never know the truth if he would have picked her. And she can't get past it. He says he understands completely. He said he was on the same level with her, and he just had another level with Madison. And I'm like, dude, that don't sound right. So I'm going to say the production sliced that up. This is one of his biggest regrets ever. Meg is like, don't be sorry. See, Meg is still upbeat. She's like, don't be sorry. You were following your heart, and she needs someone different. Okay? He can, leave here working on expressing himself better so his partner doesn't feel like a second choice and doesn't question how he feels. And, they could go on doing greater things, learning to be better for their future person. Meg is like, sorry it ended this way. She feels like she belongs here in the pods, and he feels the same. And, she's like, I don't want to be here with you. But she didn't say that. But here's the thing. In this interaction, this is the problem with Mason. He is parroting. He doesn't say something first. It's always somebody pushing him or goading him in a certain direction. And that's what Meg was doing. That's what Madison was doing. Madison pushed him ever so gently to commit to her. And now here is Meg saying, this is what I want. This is what I deserve. He wasn't talking first. He wasn't saying. But anyway, they said best of luck. The song says, I'm going under. Not Meg. Meg is like, I'm rising to the top. But Meg does take the tray of food and leaves the flowers that he gave her. Ooh, I saw that, Meg. Daniel and Taylor. He sent flowers. They wrote each other letters overnight. I'm not going to bore you all with that. They exchange I love yous. He proposes. She says yes. The song says, I won't hesitate no more. I'm so sure. He does seem sad when saying I love you lots. He knows his height may be an issue. Until the reveal, I know he's going to be worried about what Taylor thinks of him. We have the reveal of Lauren and David. Y'all, I just did reveal because it's a reveal. But David, he said he thought people loved him in the past based on what he did, like sports. If he was successful, people would love him. And I thought, do you need worship, David? Okay. So when they reveal, they hug deeply. He keeps saying that, everything is, it's inside. He loves, what she is inside. And I'm like, okay. And then says she's beautiful. Then she says he's handsome. They're holding back. They don't feel comfortable, y'all. They don't feel comfortable with each other. Let's put it off as nerves. But I feel they ain't comfortable. She does say it feels easy. It don't look it. But so we'll say it's nerves. She says she wants, no. I'm saying she wants it more than him. And she's kind of letting him give the pace, and his like little nervousness and his little flustering is making her kind of like not flow with it. I'm like, what happens when she criticizes him? What happens when she tells him what to do like his family does? What if she tries to make a decision for him? Y'all, I'm just Dave? Id? They call him Dave. I'm like, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get to Devin and Virginia. He wrote her a letter. He got super emotional. He reads it. He proposes. She says yes. Yes, I will. But she says so quiet. She's like, yes. Yes, I will. Virginia, if you don't say it with your chest, I'm sorry. I don't know if you really want that man. She says she's just taking in all he said because he clocked it. He's like, wait a minute. You don't sound that excited. I just proposed. She's like, yeah, I'm just taking it all in. I call bullocks, okay? In a men's lounge, he tries to tell the guys, oh, that didn't go as expected. And they're like, what? Ain't no way. Ain't no way Devin ain't engaged. Then he jumps up. It was way better. Yeah. Devin tried to punk the guys, and they were like, no, ain't no way. Ain't no way. That was really, really, really funny with the men's lounge. And to see so many of them still there are definitely engagements we are not seeing. Alex and Madison, they have gifts. She gave him a rock. Her brother used to collect rocks, so she still does it in his memory. He gave her a book. His grandmother is a painter. And she painted all the photos in there, and the photo was all about the history. It was a book narrating the history and culture of Guatemala, I think he said. Remember, Madison is a painter. She did give him a used paintbrush. She said it's used, it's more intimate, and they can certainly paint together, which I thought was really nice. You could always get a new set, which she said she was going to do. But yes, a used paintbrush that you've used is way intimate. So Alex says, yeah, let's get into some deep talking. What are deal breakers in a relationship? She says she don't have, much because they align well on things. So he brings up her being an avoidant. That she may walk away and leave him. She's like, you gotta trust me. You gotta trust me. And they briefly talk about Mason. Okay? Remember, Alex is like, was bullied, so he's very sensitive to how other people feel. He says he wishes Mason the best. And then she's like, that's one of us. I was like, ooh, Madison, you're holding grudges. But, that's an avoidant. An avoidant would do that. Mason, committed to her and then took it back when she broke up with him. So that is a sore spot for her. And she's like, oh, yeah, whatever. So her issue is that he said something and took it back. He should know better at his big age. I was like, ooh, Madison is getting spicy. Madison is coming for Mason even though he's not there. So she doesn't trust what Mason told Alex and tells Alex he shouldn't trust it either. But Alex is like, hey, I can see both sides of this. She doesn't like that Alex is trying to validate Mason. Alex is trying to explain, okay, I could see Mason's side. It's two people. He's trying to get to know. He's trying to give each person enough to continue with this and then make a decision. Madison ain't having it. She's like, I was hurt by him. Madison, were you? Because when you left him, you were going to talk trash about him to Meg. Were you really hurt by him? But I see this as manipulation, Madison. You are trying to get Alex to dislike Mason on your level, and Alex ain't doing it. She said she was looking for Alex to be on her side and to at least sympathize. Manipulation! Madison, he does not have to agree with you. He could sympathize with another person, and that's fine, and still have sympathy for you. It's not all or nothing. Alex said, maybe Mason was confused. She's like, she don't want to hear about it. And he's ruining the mood. Another, change the subject, let's go. She's like, I don't want to hear it. So, okay, Alex is like, let's talk about future holidays. How would holidays together look like? What kind of family traditions? And she's like, she's having a hard time thinking of a future. She's having a hard time. She's all emotional. And she's tapping on her glass. She's tapping on her glass. And I want to know if y'all could hear that. She's kind of tapping. She's tapping while she's talking. And if you know anything, an anxious person like Alex, that will get their anxiety up because he can't even see her. All he's hearing is her tapping. So that could be telling him she get ready to lace up her running shoes and run and leave. And remember, that's his fear that she would do that. She's like, am I making you anxious? She keeps tapping. Am I making you anxious with this tapping? She's trying to see if what she's doing is really working on him. Okay? She's trying to get him to be as upset as she is. And even if it's for something different, she wants him emotionally riled up like she is. So she's like, sorry, do you laugh when you're feeling awkward? He's like, when you shut down like this and not talk about things, it's hard for him to know what to do. And she's like, I told you, I don't want to hear you validate Mason and his feelings. So he says, I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, you made me cry again. Manipulation, Madison. Oh, you made me cry again. Can this man not have empathy for someone you don't like? I mean, it may sound like he's trying to justify what Mason's doing, but he's like, think about it on Mason's side of the pod. She says she's scared to think about a future with someone who may not be her person. And he hesitates because of the communication. He said he's fully committed, but there's the communication that's just not there. He said he doesn't want a miscommunication and fighting. And she said she cannot guarantee they won't fight or disagree, which I understand. But you see, Alex wants, rules of engagement with fighting. He wants us to gently discuss things, especially new. He said he needs the communication. She's like, I will do my best to communicate. That's all I can promise. But I cannot promise that my communication will always be good enough. She said the pods bring out the best and worst version of ourselves. Madison, I think I'm seeing the worst version of you. That whole Mason thing, and you don't want to discuss it, I could see if you don't want to discuss Mason because you don't want it to intrude on your time with Alex. I can see that. But you just don't want to sympathize with the man. You're like, kick rocks. Dang. Alex says they are not at a point to get engaged. And that is his final answer. He said he doesn't feel like he has enough to take that great leap. Madison says she feels sad, but she wants someone who is very sure of her. And he wishes her the best. This is the one where I appreciate Alex. I was telling Alex, run from early o'clock. I was like, run, Alex, run. But you weren't listening because you can't. But the thing is that, Alex, I like that you stood your ground. You did not let the fact that this is your girlfriend, you all have talked before, you didn't let this manipulate you into being with her. Okay? You were like, this is not enough for me. You didn't say, oh, well, she wants to be with me. I could do with a vacation like some people do in this show. You stood your ground and say, you know what? This isn't right for me. So, I'm going to let you go. And Madison, I'm going to tell you this. You so wanted Mason to go home alone because that's what you wanted. You wanted to be able to get Alex, and you wanted Mason to go home alone. Why? Because you went and planted seeds in Meg. You went and manipulated and sabotaged anything he could have said to Meg. Because you could have kept your mouth shush. and let them handle their own thing. But you went to Meg to make sure that Mason goes home alone. And guess what? The trap you set for Mason is the trap you fell in. Welcome to your trap, Madison. I'm not saying Madison is a bad person, but Madison was playing games, playing too many games. Okay? Too many games. The song they have is Don't Ever Say I Just Walked Away. In the woman's lounge, she walks in, she's teary eyed, and she tells the ladies she's going home. She never says that Alex broke up with her. Why? Because that's not her narrative. She does not want the ladies to know that Alex broke up with her. See, she wants to be able to say she broke up with Mason. She ain't gonna lie and say she broke up with Alex. But she never said he broke up with her. She's like, I'm going home. Like it was her decision. No, no, no. We know Alex broke up with you. Oh. So we have a reveal, Devin and Virginia. They both seemed quite hesitant, y'all. Her eyes were open while she was hugging him. She wasn't leaned into the hug. You know when you hug somebody and you close your eyes to just feel everything? No. Virginia's eyes were wide open looking behind Devin. Wide open. His eyes were closed. He was leaning into the hug. Says she's beautiful. She says he has pretty eyes. Okay, he got pretty eyes. She's not thrilled, y'all. She is not thrilled. He's happy. He affirms her, and she keeps saying, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. She feels good about it. She just needs to take the moment in. You said that at the proposal, too. Virginia, I don't believe you want this man. Yes, they're sitting down. Their hands are clasped, intertwined. It's a big deal for her, for him to get to know her first. Because, people always see her as, I'm guessing, a pretty face. He walks her back to her area. She is hesitant in the kiss to him, y'all. I'm sorry. She seemed hesitant. She did kiss him, but it seemed like I must kiss my fiance rather than I want to kiss my fiance. The song they play is Wonderstruck. Ooh, now y'all, Daniel and Taylor. Ooh, I've been waiting for this. Oh my gosh. Short King season. Daniel and Taylor. I'm nervous for Daniel. Y'all, I'm nervous for Daniel. Okay. In the back at confessionals, though, Taylor mentions if he is shorter than her, she will take her heels off. Okay? She will take her heels off and just flow with it. Okay? Open up the door. They go to each other. They do hug. She asks to shake his hand. I done told you deep dark secrets. Told you about my family. Told you about the future I want with you. Named our babies, probably. They didn't, but I'm just saying. And you want to shake his hand. He had to ask y'all for a kiss. They did have a deep hug, y'all. I will say the hug was close, but I don't think Taylor was feeling it. He does compliment her. She's sitting away from him. When she sits, she's sitting away from him. Is she farsighted so she needs to be away from him in order to see him? But they eventually do hold hands. Ooh. Yo, I want y'all to go to this point of the episode. When she asked, what are you most excited about? I want y'all to replay that over and over. They're sitting on the bench. What are you most excited about? He leans in and she backs up like she dodging a kiss. Y'all, Taylor don't like this man. Taylor don't like this man. She's very distant, talking on the bench. And then she's sounding clinical. Oh, so what exactly do you want? What exactly do you need? Oh, is this really, how? No emotion in her voice. Like she's interviewing a patient, okay? Remember, she's a nurse. She sounds real clinical. She says she has to look away. She tells him, oh my gosh, I have to look away from you to catch my bearings. You don't like this man. First a handshake. Second time you dodging the kiss. When he leans in, it wasn't even for a kiss. He was leaning in to talk to you. You dodging like he trying to kiss you. And now you got to look away or block yourself from looking at him in order to communicate with him. Yo, Taylor don't like this man. Now, I'm not sure if it's his height, but that's going to be my first thing. Maybe his look, he's, Midwestern wholesome. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But again, three things Taylor did that tells me she does not like Daniel. First, she asked for a handshake. Second, she dodged him, like she's dodging a kiss. And third, she said she had to look away from him in order to get her bearings so she can talk to him. She don't want to see him to talk to him. She wants to go back to the pods where she didn't have to look at him to connect with him. Yo, he does show, hey, he's wearing the socks that she gave him. Apparently, she gave him socks with like eyeballs on it. It was cutesy. She said she couldn't wear her socks with the gown, but she tells us in confessional that the socks are in her bra. She doesn't tell him though. She don't want to connect with him. She does say he is her type, but shorter. She barely compliments the man. Okay? She ran to her area. You want some wine? She ran to her area in her gown to get away from him to get some wine. They kiss, and she wipes his mouth with the gloss. And we've seen that before. But the way she's doing it is like she's wiping away the kiss. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't think Taylor likes this man. But she does start touching him more. She says he's adorable. He's not a stuffed animal. That's adorable. You don't want your husband to be adorable. Says he's everything she asked for, but she's sounding brittle, y'all. It's like, you're everything I asked for. It sounds real brittle. Daniel says, I'll be thinking about you. She said, obviously. Obviously. When they were separating, obviously you'll be thinking about me. Taylor says, it's surreal and an out-of-body experience. When we have heard that before, that's when we got a runner and track star. Y'all, I was expecting, like Love is Blind Germany, and I have the recap, so you could check my channel out for that. I was expecting Taylor to be a runner and a track star, expecting her to be like, yo, this ain't it. But we do see 24 hours later at the Women's Hotel, Taylor meets with the crew. She says that Daniel seems so familiar to her. And she has a feeling that he knew who she was and what she looked like. Remember, that was in a trailer? Now we know it's Taylor and Daniel. She said she had a follow request a couple months ago. She never followed the person back, but she remembers their photo on IG. She says her IG says all her specifics. She loves Taco Bell. She loves Christmas. She's a nurse. It has all of that in there. She cannot ignore her gut feeling that he knew what she looked like. Daniel comes to meet her at the ladies' hotel. He's just in a simple t-shirt. Like if they dragged him like, yo, we having this meeting over here in the empty cafeteria of this hotel. Daniel looks hesitant. Daniel looks like he's expecting a breakup. It's like, oh, it's not you, it's me. He's expecting that. The way Daniel was sitting there looking at her is just like, just tell me you don't want to be with me. Oh, I felt that. Oh, I felt it. Because it's like, this is unprecedented. So she tells him her thoughts and suspicions. He denies it. He's like, yo, I don't know what photo you saw of someone sitting cross-legged in front of a Christmas tree. He said, I don't have those types of Christmas photos. He's like, I'm sitting with no drink in my hand, but it's in front of a fireplace. That is his profile picture. She says this all scares her. And they end it with that. Y'all, let me break this down. Taylor, your feelings are valid. Okay? You have a gut, you have an instinct. I'm not going to tell you don't follow it. But in all of this heightened senses, and I don't think you really want Daniel, I think it's warping your memory. I'm just saying possibility. Because here's what you're saying. The person who was trying to follow you on IG, that you didn't follow them back, you think it looks like him. A lot of people look alike. I'm sorry, Daniel ain't very different. He could look like a whole lot of people. I'm just saying that. Here's the other thing. You are not the only nurse in the cast. There are at least two others. There are at least two other blonde nurses too on the cast. So that thing. Also, you love a Christmas? Ton of them in there loved Christmas. He already had his Christmas stocking packed. He wouldn't know if you are the same nurse, because there are other nurses on the cast. You're the same nurse that love Christmas. Y'all didn't talk about Christmas until a few dates later. He packed his Christmas stocking later. He can't know if you have the same Christmas stocking. So while I see where you're putting puzzle pieces together, it seemed like coinky dink. It seems like excuses you're trying to say to get away from this man. If you don't want to be with him, that's fine. If you had these suspicions, you could have just gone away. You didn't have to talk and confront him. And of course, production could pull up his IG, and I was hoping you posted his IG profile when y'all saw him and posted. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for you to post the picture she's talking about to prove he's lying. Nobody posted a picture. He's saying that's not my picture. But the way he's saying it is like, why do I have to go through all of this for you to break up with me? Just say you don't want to marry me. Just say it. I appreciate she's scared, but here's the other thing, Taylor, and for all the ladies and gents out there. Taylor, how is this different than someone seeing your IG and finding you out in public? Since you've said all these things about yourself on Instagram, somebody can study that, tailor themselves to what you want, and then find you in public at a local bar or whatever, and act like they're exactly what you said. Act like they, are knowing things about you, finishing your sentences when they studied you. It is harder for Daniel to get to you in the pod specifically with the whole IG thing than somebody out in the street. This is harder. There are multiple nurses there. Okay? Yes, your name is Taylor. Maybe he knew Taylor Nurse Minnesota. But y'all are all going to Love is Blind. Unless you put on there that you went Love is Blind. And even if he did, if he knew you were a cast member and he knew he was casted and he tried to do a friend request, a lot of castmates do that. Why is it very suspicious? You never took the friend request. You never had messages from the person. Why is it suspicious? We have had cast members reach out to each other and like each other's pages before the shows. So when they come out, they're able to find each other. Why is this so suspicious? I'm just saying. Taylor, I appreciate your gut instinct. For whatever reason, let Daniel go and say you don't want to be with him. But all of this to me is you putting 10 on 20. Just say you don't want that man, end the engagement, go your separate ways. Y'all, that's the end of the episode for me. Join me next week. They are only dropping 3 episodes next week. Whew, so I can take a breath. But I hope you enjoy these 6 that I have just completed. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.